2, 3.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Episode 1, TraXel podcast. We are a company just starting up and making the lives of patients with MS better. How we do this, please stay tuned for further episodes. Today we're going to talk about MS, the specifics about multiple sclerosis, things that you may not know. For example, multiple sclerosis is distributed and occurs all over the world, but research has shown that it is much more common in areas that are further away from the equator. So if you're in the northern hemisphere and you are born in a region that's north of the equator, for example in Canada, Scandinavia, you're more likely to suffer multiple sclerosis than if you're born closer to the equator. The reverse in South Africa, more common than in the equatorial Africa, and so forth. People don't understand why that is, but this is something that researchers have observed. When you move away from your home area before teenage years, you lose this risk. When you move away after you're a teenager, let's say you move away from Canada in your 20s, the risk that you inherited when born in the northern, further away from the equator, stays with you. We don't know much about genetics. It's not well understood, but researchers have shown that if you are an identical twin and your identical twin has multiple sclerosis, your risk is about 1/3 to also have multiple sclerosis. So there is a genetic factor. How much it is and what genes are really playing a key role is not known. Lots of research have also gone into what the pathophysiology of multiple sclerosis is. Many of you probably already know that people call it a demyelinating disease. So what is demyelination? Myelin is in essence the sheath that covers all the nerve cells in the brain and the spinal cord. Multiple sclerosis weakens those sheaths, so basically burns little holes in it and makes them not work well. When that happens, the nerve cells don't function well, and people can display symptoms. That can occur anywhere in the brain or in the spinal cord, and because the brain and the spinal cord has so much to do with our everyday function, the signs and symptoms of multiple sclerosis can also be very variant. And in the next episode, we're going to talk a little bit about more why this very complicated presentation is such a challenge to you, patients have multiple sclerosis, loved ones, but also for caretakers, doctors, nurses, because it's not a single thing, like this is a symptom and that means multiple sclerosis. No, there are so many symptoms. Some patients present with difficulties seeing, some people present with difficulties walking, feeling, some people even present with difficult emotional stages. All those can be expressions of multiple sclerosis. So we at TraXel are committed to helping people with multiple sclerosis live better lives. And I hope you enjoyed this short episode. Next time, on episode 2, we're going to talk about why it is often such a challenge to come to the right diagnosis. Thank you so much.